Okay, kicking off Monday with leg day. So, been doing something that I've been incorporating into much of my training by the name of just a static, right? So, holding the muscle in the contracted position for a little bit and quote unquote hanging out there uh, just to get a nice, good squeeze and squeeze a lot of the power that the muscle has out. So pick this up by Trained by JP. A lot of my old schoolers will know that this is nothing but um, pre-exhaustion, right? Um, Pre-exhaustion, peak muscle contraction, all of those fancy schmancy weeder principles that we've all been fed to that we've all been fed. So, with that being said, I kick this off with hamstrings because hamstrings give me a really strong contraction. They're a squeezing exercise. They're called hamstrings are the leg biceps, so they can hold a contraction. So each set, this is the first set where I'm just really squeezing the muscle. I'm trying to squeeze for everything that it's worth, right? Then the second set performance will be actually very different. The second set will have the same amount of weight, if not a little bit heavier, and I'll aim for constant tension. Um, with that, I'll fail around about the same rep range, maybe a rep or two less, because I just really beat the shit out of my hamstrings the first set. Now, the second set for this exercise is going to be performed differently. I'm going to do negative accentuated training, so I'm going to slow down the negative, hold it at the bottom, and then come back up. With this particular exercise, the way to get a good stretch is just to hold it at the bottom for a little bit and then curl back up. This one I didn't count reps. I just went to failure, seeing as that these were negative accentuated and you're very much stronger lowering a weight than you are pulling a weight up. So that's all this was. Three different sets, three different types of performances, all designed to really just bash the hamstrings. We move on to adductors, and it's the same thing. I'm going to hold it in the contracted position for about 2 seconds, and then I'm going to release, and I'm just going to do the reps that I need to do, which I think was around about 15 for this particular exercise. Then the second exercise is going to be done with constant tension, no peak contraction or anything like that. And then the last set is going to be a 3 second negative. So, a very interesting way of doing things. Again, this is a variation of something I got from Jordan Peters. It's definitely not my idea 100%. Some of the nuances are, but hanging out in a contracted position, that's been around for a long time, and I think Jordan is bringing that back and making sure people are aware of it just so they can use it in their training modalities and be able to progress. So, great tool to use, something I like very much. You'll see when I get to leg extensions, it's going to be the same thing. like I was explaining here on the leg extension, using the prime leg extension as an example. 3 pegs, bottom peg loads it at the bottom, or as I'm raising the weight, so effective for 1/3 of the movement hardcore. Get up, squeeze the muscle out as much as I possibly can. Hit failure. Second set, we move up to the second peg. This first set was actually pretty good and easy on my knees, which I found to be a tremendous surprise. Then we move on to the second set, and that set was a little bit tougher in that the weight just kind of got stuck. So this one is constant tension. This isn't anything with a squeeze, with a hard squeeze like I did the first set, but really just trying to get a lot of blood in there, force the blood in there. And then for the last set, we go up to the top peg, which I really thought that the weight was going to fly off my legs and go behind my back. So with this one, which was interesting, I kind of shifted my hips forward a little bit just to get more of a complete stretch so I could lift my butt off the pad. And I just wanted a nice stretch at the bottom. I held it there for a second, and then I pushed back up. Credit to Kuba Sealand over there in the UK for this tip. I didn't have any bands, so I just went ahead and used straight weight. But next week I'll have some bands, Kuba, if you're listening. So props to you for that one. Really do appreciate that advice. So now that we have been doing the contracted position or shortened position, where are we going to go next? So we're going to get into the lengthened position where a muscle is stretched at its maximum, or at least close to it. So where are we stretched at a squat? In the bottom. So sitting down, letting that good stretch occur, and then we just press up. Notice that my heels are elevated. This is to make a quad movement. Notice I'm starting the movement at the knees, and this is a guided squat. So the safety aspect is very, very favorable. Not saying you can't do this with a free squat. If you're strong enough, you most certainly can. But I just didn't. I don't like using straight bars, and I don't like the spider bars, so I'm not going to use it. So we went with the Squat Pro, and it hit my legs effectively where I wanted it to go. Emphasized the negative, sat in the bottom for a little bit, then dropped the weight and went ahead and did some reps. I do believe I did about 2 to 3 sets here, although you only see 2. And with these, I'm trying to hit the same depth that I would with 4 plates for constant reps. So I think I got about 8 reps here, and felt really, really good. Moved pretty well. So it's definitely something to improve upon. This and the pendulum squat are probably going to be, and the hack squat, your best instances for getting the quads into a very, very lengthened position. Something I definitely advise that everyone does. Rather, sorry for the grammatical error. Moving on to the machine I like a lot. A lot of people use this for hamstrings, but I'm trying to focus the quads. Is the Squat Pro by Rogers Athletic. I really like this exercise because it just gives a different strength profile rather, than the standard leg press. Uh, it seems to vary through the entire range of motion, and plus, it's just a really tough exercise. One that I like a whole lot. So with this, I'm keeping my feet low on the pad, much like I would do a regular leg press, and I'm just going to work trying to build some big ass quads. But let me tell you something. I can't. I'm gonna say this right now. I'm not a Nick Walker. You're not a Nick Walker, or anything like that. As a fourth exercise, 5 plates is plenty. So don't get caught up in what someone's doing as their fourth exercise. I most certainly am not. I really don't care what other people are doing. While it serves as a great motivation, I'm working within my own framework, and I'm working hard within my own framework. So don't too much worry if you can't use a ton of weight by the time you get to this exercise, because trust me, if you started off fresh, it's not going to be a whole ton of a lot better. It's going to be marginal at best. Moving on to the last exercise, that is going to be stiff leg deadlifts on the belt squat machine. As you can see, I grabbed a neutral grip pull down bar. That maintained tension throughout the hamstrings. If I had to critique myself, I wouldn't have come all the way up because it just takes tension off the hamstrings. I would have come up about, oh god, a little over halfway, just to bring up the movement, or not bring up the movement, just to get the weight up. But really, to maintain that tension, I should just not have come all the way up, because I lost a lot of the pressure on the muscle as I got to the top of the movement. But that's just a self-critique. So if you got anything out of this video, please let me know. Try this workout, and if you have any programming questions or anything like that, don't be afraid to reach out to me. Hell, let's even work together. I got affordable rates, and would love to help you become better. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Y'all have a good one.